Welcome back to DQP Does, the Drafty Quarters Podcast Network movie review show, where we all have COVID-19. Maybe.
Yeah.
Allegedly.
Allegedly.
We are on quarantine, like hardcore quarantine. It's pretty great. Not really, but we're going to watch some movies and do some podcasts, so here we go. With me this week is my co-host, Nathan. Wow, you're not my co-host.
No.
But you're here.
Positively. Because I am positive for the COVIDs.
Yeah. He came back positive, but yeah, all right. My actual co-host, Russell.
Hi.
What the fuck?
Thanks, Ross.
I just watched the episode yesterday
Oh my god.
where Rachel starts dating fake Ross.
Russ.
Russ.
Yeah.
His name is Russ. Oh. Fuck.
Okay, we watched Godfather Part 3. Came out in 1990. It's 2 hours and 42 minutes long. Oof.
2 hours and 42 minutes of fucking nothing.
Yeah, there's like 10 minutes of anything happening in this movie.
This movie sucked.
Yeah. Oh my god, this was terrible. There was one thing that I did like about it, and I did like Andy Garcia. Well, let me do the cast real quick. We got Al Pacino back as Michael Corleone. Diane Keaton as Kay. Talia Shire's Connie. Andy Garcia was added as Vincent Mancini. Eli Wallach was Don Altobello. Joe Montana as Joey Zaza. George Hamilton as B.J. Harrison. Bridget Fonda as Grace Hamilton. Sophia Coppola as Mary Corleone. Raph Vallone as Cardinal Lamberto. Frank D'Ambrosio as Anthony Vito Corleone. I don't think we really care about any of the other characters, do we?
Who did Nicolas Cage play? Because I didn't see him in the movie, but he was in the credits.
He was in the credits.
Well, he's a Coppola.
Yeah.
I guess that was good enough.
Phenomena.
So your favorite thing was Andy Garcia?
In the movie, yeah.
Because he was trying to nail his cousin?
No. I like Andy Garcia, and I think he did well in the movie. That particular storyline was fucking creepy as fuck.
Maybe like if she would have just been like obsessed with her cousin.
Ron Jeremy was in this.
See, we do care about more of the cast.
I didn't see the hedgehog.
Man chewing toothpick in crowd at 1 hour, 16 minutes, and 34 seconds, uncredited.
Well, that was probably at the first party because Lord knows.
Yeah.
Took forever.
Dude, he's not on here. Nick Cage isn't on the...
That's weird. What the fuck?
It was in the second one, though, right? Like, he was, like, credited on the second one.
I thought it was this one. I don't know.
Who knows? Anyway.
I've been disappointed since the first one, so...
Dude, like, the second one wasn't as good. Like, the second one was still a good movie. It just wasn't as good as the first one. Because the first one, seriously, is, like, one of the best movies I've ever seen.
Yes.
This one is, like somebody watched the first one and was like, I could do that. And they can't. They just couldn't.
Or I could do that again.
Yeah.
And then he couldn't. And I just had deja vu. That was weird. All of that.
Okay. I mean, I feel like we've said that about another movie. In another series.
Yeah, probably.
But, yeah, I don't know. Like, you couldn't, like, the characters weren't consistent, and I didn't understand the whole point of Michael having, like, really bad diabetes. Like, that didn't make any fucking sense. He's been holding his forehead since the fucking first movie. They could have just done a stroke thing. If they were like, he has to have some kind of ailment where it's causing him to doubt his virility, basically, and being able to continue to be the Don, and like see his mortality and shit like that.
Yeah.
They could have just been like, hey, you had a fucking stroke, a regular old stroke. He's been holding his fucking forehead and like popping pain pills since the first movie.
Yeah. Or they could have just gave him ED.
I want to make a correction from earlier.
Okay.
As an actor, Nicolas Cage did not start work until 1981.
Uh-huh.
In 2 films, he was Nicholas Coppola.
Right.
Coppola.
Hmm.
Coppola? Whatever. And that was The Best of Times, a TV movie, and
Mhm.
Fast Times at Ridgemont High.
Right.
After that, nothing. Nothing to do with any of the Godfather stuff.
What the fuck?
What the fuck did you see that you thought it was Nick Cage?
His name was at the end of the credits, or in the credits.
Huh. It's
I don't
just
know.
like,
Maybe it was like,
my kid,
yeah,
Nick Cage.
maybe it was like a weird.
Well, I mean, I thought they were cousins.
I don't know.
It's his nephew.
Yeah,
Whatever.
because him and Sophia are cousins,
Oh, God.
I believe.
I hope the
But, like,
storyline
That
about...
where the inspiration came
yeah,
from.
they weren't the inspiration for that storyline.
So they really wanted Nick Cage to play Andy Garcia's character.
Yeah.
And they're like, no, it's too real.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, so there's like some definite weirdness in this movie. So a little incest going on, like with first cousins, Sonny's.
I mean, would it have been better if they would have made them second or third cousins?
No, I mean it was okay. The whole problem with it was that A, it was like their first cousins, and B, everyone's like, no, don't do it because it's dangerous. Because Michael wants Mary away from the business, and what the fuck is Andy's character's name?
Vincent.
Vincent. Vinny is like wants to be further in the business.
Yeah.
And everybody's like, it's dangerous. Don't do it because it's dangerous. Don't do it because you're fucking first cousins. Literally, like your father's brother's son, you want to bang. What the fuck? No.
For love.
This isn't fucking like medieval England, okay? It's not the Dark Ages where it's just like, well, I actually have feelings for you, and that's all that matters because, like, that's the, you're not going to meet any more than the 60 people in your village.
Yeah, well, I also thought the accusation was interesting that was put on Vincent because we don't really get to know Vincent in the movie. Like, we don't know
Right.
what he's actually thinking,
Right.
which Michael tells him that at one point, like, don't tell anyone what you're thinking, which is reminiscent of the first
Right.
movie, right?
Yeah.
So there's like a couple things in the movie that they did well that I liked that they really tried with.
Yeah.
But overall, like, nothing really happens. There was no reason for this movie.
Yeah.
What I
It's
think
it's kind of the first movie from Vito's perspective. Yeah.
Yeah, but Vincent should have been, like, I think the movie would have been better with more drama because there's almost none. Had Vincent been trying to take over
Right.
Michael's position, like,
Yeah.
maliciously, like, so then you have the old school versus the new school, and it's different, but it's similar to the first one. So
Right.
you flip the script on the first movie,
Yeah.
whereas like Michael like didn't really want to do it, but his dad wanted him to do it, and eventually he like realized
he fell
that was
into
the best
it,
thing.
basically.
Yeah. Whereas
'cause
like
it was the whole reason that he ended up in it was because of the revenge plot, right?
Yeah.
Because they tried to kill Vito, and he ends up killing the guys that ordered the hit and made the hit possible.
yeah,
And then, he just falls into the business that way, as opposed to, Vinny is like growing up in it because he's Sonny's son. Because he's Sonny's son, and like he like takes over as kind of like a low level goon in their old neighborhood, which Michael has given up. And it's like, I don't know. It's just
Right.
it-
So right there's even more motive for Vincent to be like, "What the fuck, Michael?"
Yeah.
Like because
Well, and
Michael
it
gave
starts
up
with
on his
that.
neighborhood.
It starts with that, and like it starts with him being, basically being Sonny and like being the hothead and all this shit, and like yelling at Michael about Joey Zaza fucking shit up in the old neighborhood.
Yeah. Yeah.
And it could have stuck with that as opposed to whatever the fuck we got with the rest of the movie.
Yeah.
And that would have been a better movie. I don't know that it would have been as good as the first movie, but it would have been better than what we fucking got.
Yeah. I mean, it would have at least like fit with the theme of the movies, whereas I feel like he was just like, oh, like one of them, either Pacino or Francis Ford Coppola, were like, we should make another Godfather movie because we'll make money. And then they were like, well, what do we do? I don't know. I jot down some thoughts.
I also think it overreached with the story. I don't know what level of the plot this was supposed to be, but the whole shit with the Pope and stuff, like what the fuck?
Yeah, I think so. That's the other thing I didn't get is because they at one point they refer to Michael as a Rockefeller.
Yeah.
They're like, oh, you're like a Rockefeller now or a Rothschild.
Mhm.
Like, and they say those things in the movie.
Yeah.
And then they don't really take that any further other than just like talking about the higher ups that he's pissing off and that have like taken a notice of him.
Yeah.
So like that's a perfect opportunity for you to like show like the quote unquote Illuminati stuff or like take it that step further instead of just being
But it
Pope.
doesn't. The problem is that it didn't need to do that. It didn't need to go like that.
It didn't need to, but they didn't commit either way.
Yeah.
Is what I was saying.
Yeah, I guess. It's just, I don't know. It took it in a weird direction, and I didn't like any of that.
Yeah.
I was like, what the fuck does this have to do with the Catholic Church? Like, this is dumb.
Yeah.
This is so dumb.
Him trying to legitimize the family, which he's still trying to do, 30 years later?
I mean, they were
Yeah.
pretty legitimized with the olive oil business.
Yeah.
Stick with what you know, kids.
Yeah. I think they could have done the same thing, but just done it with like the government. They're like working more with, because I mean they did that in the last movie. They had to like put pressure on the one senator, and they went through the whole Senate subcommittee hearing and all that shit. And it's like,
Yeah.
you could have like gone further in that direction instead of just being like, no, we're just gonna like go and fucking like kill the Pope and like all this dumb shit.
So, like, this movie primarily takes place in Italy.
Yeah, like a lot
Okay.
of it is in Italy.
And, like, so, like, Tahoe, we get, like, that scene from Lake Tahoe of the house, and it's, like, in disarray.
Yeah.
Like, no one gives a shit.
No, it's
His
like
brother died
completely abandoned.
there.
Yeah.
He drowned with a bullet in his head
Yeah.
because it'll weighed him down. I don't know. But, like, then it goes to, like, New York, and we see some, like, New York stuff. And then, at that point, you've already watched, like, damn near 50% of the movie.
Yeah.
And it feels like a lifetime. And then they go over to Italy, and then you get a little bit of like Michael's past with his first marriage that you don't really know if he ever talked to Kay about it or not.
Right.
And like he sees like where they got married, and him and Kay are walking by there, and he's like trying to patch things up with his ex-wife, who he pretty much like fucking put a hit out on her, like in the second one. Like that's the feeling you get.
Yeah.
Like, don't come near my kids, or you're whacked.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, it's very similar to that. And then like he's like trying to like, all right, I was a piece of shit. I don't want to be a piece of shit no more. I'm dying, getting old. And then I don't know. Like, this movie took a long time to tell a story.
Yeah.
Whereas the first one, it told a good story. The second one, it told a okay story.
Yeah.
This one, it didn't tell you anything. It was just like, it took forever to get there.
Yeah.
And like...
And it wasn't good anyway.
And the end of it was like, It still didn't make any sense.
Yeah. I mean, it made it made sense to me, but like, okay, the plot made sense how it ended, but why?
I didn't
The
feel bad
fuck?
that it happened though.
Yeah.
I was just like,
Yeah. It was. It
wasn't
didn't matter.
shocked.
Yeah.
I didn't
It
care.
just was whatever.
Like
Yeah.
if Michael would have got shot in the end, I would have cared more.
Yeah.
But
Oh yeah, his death scene is fucking ridiculous. Like, why the fuck is that even in the movie?
I don't know.
They could have just had him like sitting there reminiscing, and then like zoomed out and faded to black.
You know what
and
made it
would've been
better?
Fine.
If he would have got whacked.
Yeah, somebody just walks up behind him and blows his brains out.
Yeah.
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 I have more
Vincent.
respect for that
Yeah.
because you got what's coming to you. Karma.
Yeah.
Motherfucker.
Yeah, he
that's the
just
other
like
thing I didn't
fucking like
about it.
stroked out and fell out of the chair, and the dog's like,
So
what the
he-
fuck?
He had that diabetic stroke earlier in the movie when he was stressed out.
Yeah.
And then his daughter gets shot in front of him and it doesn't trigger another one.
Well, he had sugar.
Yeah, he just had a fucking candy bar.
Yeah. He had a Snickers.
Hmm.
He'd act differently if he didn't have one.
And then they do the silent scream thing, and it's like really long, and then they show everyone like looking at him like, what the fuck? And then he does a second scream, and that one's not silent. And I was just like, why do the first one?
I hated it.
Why?
I hated it so much.
Why was that? What the fuck just happened?
I wanted to like this movie. I really did.
Yeah, I did too, because I really like Andy Garcia in this movie.
Yep.
I mean, Andy Garcia could have gone either way with me there.
I think what I was saying earlier was I like that the accusation was there where the one dude, I don't remember his name, accuses Vincent of only getting close to the daughter because if something happens to Michael, the daughter's in charge.
Oh, Antebello's talking to him
yeah,
about
Antebello.
it.
And they should have went with more of that angle. Like that should have been
Maybe.
that should have been Vincent's actual, because he's the older dude, and apparently he's been creepy to her since she was 8. We forgot to talk about that.
Oh yeah. He was 15 and she was 8 the last time they saw each other, and what the fuck was she say? He was like, I got a lot of girlfriends, and she was like, well, last time you saw me I was 8, and he's like, yeah, even 8-year-olds, and I was like,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Super weird.
Let's quote this from another movie. 8-year-olds, dude.
Yeah,
Just saying.
yeah, it's a pederast.
Yeah.
What movie was that from?
Fucking Big Lebowski.
Yeah,
Oh,
8-year-olds, dude.
yeah,
yeah, I forgot about
Yeah. Gross.
that. Yeah.
Yeah, on top of watching that and then Law and Order yesterday.
Oh yeah, sorry. We scrolled past fucking SVU, and I was like, "Hey, let's watch this." And it was like kids getting raped and shit. And I'm like, "No! Oh, god damn it! Sorry."
Yeah. So I think that should have been Vincent's primary
Motivation.
motivation.
Yeah.
Getting close to his
And then,
first cousin.
And then Michael whacks him.
Well,
Because he's got an affinity for killing family members.
I think Michael should have lost.
Yeah, I feel like Michael should have lost and died in this movie.
Yeah, but
But
he didn't really
not-
lose.
yeah.
Well,
he
no.
sort of did.
And then his son, the singer, decides he does want to take over. But like he opera does it at the end.
And I also feel like his son is the one that should have died and not Mary.
Yeah. I didn't like Mary dying.
Yeah.
It just didn't make sense. Like, because it should have been Michael, or it should have been whatever his son's name is. Anthony.
Anthony.
It should have been Anthony because he didn't want to be around his dad, and then he came around last, so it would have been more impactful to me
Yes.
because he like
Absolutely.
forgave Michael basically and accepted him back into his life. And then if he dies right after that achievement of the opera thing and cutting his career and life and everything short, that would have been more impactful to me than
Yes.
Mary
Yeah.
dying.
I could
That would have been much
That would have
better.
been good.
Especially if he would have been like sniped on the fucking stage.
That's what I thought was going to happen when
Yeah,
that
me too.
fucking assassin was there.
Well, I thought the dude on stage had a real gun. He was just gonna like,
He did. But he was like, I think he was like backup, maybe.
Hmm.
Like if the first shot went off, then something was going to happen on stage.
yeah, it makes sense.
But it never happened. So he just like fell back, and then they talked and did it on the steps.
Yeah. And then
And then the assassin that's amazing missed his first shot on Michael, which is fucking stupid.
Yeah.
He like grazed his shoulder. Didn't even actually hit him. Like literally like grazed his jacket.
Yeah.
This movie has sucked. This is so bad.
10 out of 10.
Yeah. So Michael should have got shot on the steps.
Yeah.
Like, you could have done this a number of ways, but another way I would have liked would Michael get shot on the steps instead of Mary. Vincent didn't pull the trigger, but Vincent gets down in Michael's ear as all like, don't worry, I'll take care of everything. Like, signaling to Michael that he's been doing it the whole time.
Yeah.
The helicopter to take out all the old bosses was actually Vincent. Like, it should have been Vincent the whole fucking movie.
Yeah.
And I would have loved this movie. As it stands, fuck this movie.
Yep.
There's no reason to watch past the first Godfather.
Nope.
More you know.
We did it for you guys. Just watch the first one.
Yeah.
God
It's a
damn.
good standalone. It's a great standalone.
Are we going to say fuck it and rate this?
Yes.
Let's fuck this pig. I'm going to give it a 4. Because there were parts that were well shot and there's a couple of good actors in it, but Jesus Christ, the plot is a fucking mess. The idea of going to Rome and fucking around with the goddamn Catholic Church is fucking stupid. There's way better ways to do pretty much everything in the fucking movie. I mean, we just changed like 4 plot points and made the movie like 3 points better. So fuck this movie. It's a 4. And that's basically because there were some good actors in it and it was shot well for the most part. Russell?
There's one particular scene that I really enjoyed. So when they're on stage for the play near the end of the movie, there's like this whole beautiful sequence where the woman ends up putting the hood over her head.
Yeah,
and
the shawl.
The shawl, yeah. And it's kind of like relative to the way the story is played about Jesus on stage.
Yeah.
And
It's Mary.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So then after Mary...
Well, not Mary, the character.
daughter.
Mary, the biblical character.
Yeah. Mary, the daughter, gets shot, and there's this whole scene with Al Pacino on the steps, like, and he's
Screaming.
supposed to be the center of attention at this point,
Right.
but like all Connie does is like mimic what the woman on stage did, where she pulls her
She
shawl
has
up
the
over
black
her
shawl,
head, and then
yeah.
it fades to black. And that one very poignant moment with her steals that whole scene, I think.
I actually hated that, but
I really liked it. I was like, because it's one of the few times in the movie where I'm like, oh shit, they tried.
yeah,
Like,
yeah, you said that out loud when we were watching
Yeah.
the movie. You're like, oh man, they actually tried for like 5 seconds.
yeah.
Maybe that's
So-
what pissed me off. Why I didn't like it. It's like,
And then-
that's the part you try on. Come on.
Yeah. And then there's like a couple scenes where Michael reminds you of Vito in the first one.
Yeah,
But there's not enough of any of this.
Nope.
Like there's too many long-standing scenes where someone's walking for no reason. Like there's no thought. There's nothing that doesn't give you anything to think about while it's happening. It doesn't lead you
inform
to have
the
a certain
plot.
feeling. It doesn't inform the plot. This movie is way too long for no fucking reason.
Uh-huh.
And
This movie's
like
a
long
movie for
movies.
no reason.
yeah, this movie's a movie for no reason. It sucks. So I'm rated a 2.
Oh.
I don't ever
Yeah.
want to watch this movie again.
Yeah,
I will
me
watch
either.
Godfather 1 and pretend the next 2 don't exist.
Yeah. Nathan.
This movie was a broken box of cannolis. I'm sad. By the way, in case you were wondering, I ordered cannolis
Yeah.
from Hoboken, New Jersey. A place called Carlo's. Not a sponsor. And I don't know if they taste good because I don't have a sense of smell or taste.
I liked him.
Russell liked them. Wait, Shane liked
That was
them.
Shane.
Russell doesn't give a shit about nothing.
Russell also really liked the cannolis.
Cassandra did not.
She had one. She liked them.
She said she did not.
Oh. Maybe
It's
she was
okay.
talking about something else.
Your cannoli?
No, that's not what I meant. Anyway,
Awkward.
your review.
So this broken box of cannolis is just garbage. Like, you got away from it. And I understand you're trying to tell the story of the life of Michael Corleone, and that's fine. And the second one, okay, it wasn't as good as the first one. It was the pancakes that got away. That's fine. You could have finished up strong with the third one, but you didn't. You didn't finish up at all. You took almost, 3 hours again to tell us a story that was a waste of our fucking time.
16 years and 3 hours.
Just saying. You could have done better. You should have done better. It's a fucking travesty. I'm sad. And the rating you're going to get is a broken box cannolis, but you deserve worse. You disgust me. I'm going to put this up there with Blade Runner.
Woo!
Fuck you.
And Blade Runner.
Wow. So what are we doing next? Casino?
Goodfellas.
He just watched Casino.
I know, we're doing Casino.
Okay. Well, this has been DQP Does, where we shit on Godfather 3. Thank you for listening. Just when I thought I was out, they pull me back in.
This has been a production of the Drafty Quarters Podcast Network.